Hello, this is Sarah Meehan from Concentrus. Today I am here with another short and sweet tip for you. This one is on adding AP email address to your customer record and then populating that by default on invoice record. So this is a very common request. As you know, NetSuite has a single email address field on the customer record, and that field is what is populated by default on any transaction. So your sales orders, fulfillments, and your invoices and cash sales. But frequently, the invoice needs to be emailed to a different email address, typically the AP department or something like that. And so this will allow you to set up an AP email address on the customer record in a custom field and have that pass by default and override the standard email address on an invoice. So I've already done the first part, which is to set up the AP email address. It's just a custom field of the type email, and I added it to the customer record right below the existing email field. Populated it with a value, and right now, if I open a sales order, you'll notice that the value that is populated is orders at. And then if I go back and do the same thing on an invoice record, I'm going to see exactly the same result. Okay, so here's my orders at. So what I'm going to do is create a very simple workflow that will override this value with the value that we've set in the AP email address custom field. So I'm going to go to Customization, Workflow, Workflows, create a new workflow. Oops. This will be a transaction workflow, and it will only be triggering on the invoice record. I'm in a demo environment, so I'm going to set this right to release. If you were working in your production environment, though, you would definitely want to put this in testing mode so that you could run some test transactions before impacting other users. I only want this to run on create because if a user chooses to change the email address manually, I don't want to override that. So then I'm going to hit save. This is a single action, single state workflow. So I'm going to use the state that populates by default and create my one action, which is going to be a set field value action. I'm going to trigger it on before user edit, meaning before the user makes any changes to the record. The field that I want to set is the email field, and I want it to be the customer's AP email address. I'm going to add one other criteria here just to make sure that we don't find ourselves in an error type situation where we don't have an email address. I want to only trigger this if the customer's AP email address is not empty. And that is it. So now I'm going to head back to our customer record. And just as a demonstration, I'm going to create a sales order once again. Oops. Just to make sure we still see our orders at. Okay, we do. Now I'm going to hop back to my customer record, and this time I'm going to create an invoice. And now, once this loads, I'm going to click the Communication tab. And there we have AP at. So we've successfully overridden the default email address with the value from our AP email field. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Thank you so much for watching.